Smart 24, driving business.
Yes, exactly 1 minute to the top of your. That is of 9 a.m. This is Smart Means a Business. We'll be back, and it's our business insight that we're heading through. Like I told you, I'm joined with Falda Kirabo, and we're going to be discussing matters to do with insurance innovations, and it's a call for change for Uganda side. Good morning, Falda. Good morning. How is the morning like for you?
Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
The morning is a bit cold, but it's very fine. And we are preparing, of course, for the festive seasons as we discuss very important topics that need to be incorporated in the coming 2025.
Yeah, very, very true, as you say that.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we are looking at innovations in insurance, innovations within insurance. As you can see, just a brief onto the report. The insurance industry in Uganda, according to this, it's starting at crossroads with calls for innovation and inclusion dominating. And that is the recent conversation. Now, while the sector has actually made strides in improving its offerings, there remains a glaring gap in adoption, especially among the grassroots of the informal workers, as the Insurance Regulatory Authority prepares to recognize the exemplary innovators in the field, and it's worth exploring. And the factors that are driving these changes and the challenges still holding the industry back. So, Falda, according to how you have been saying and observing the reports and all that, what do you have to say about the uptake of insurance when you take a look at the Ugandans?
Okay, thank you so much, Andrew. And looking at this report that we are going to be dissecting today, right? There are two main reasons as to why Ugandans are taking long to hop into insurance, right?
Sure.
And the first one being the inadequate awareness, and of course the failure to design products that suit the particular people that need them. In most cases, when you look at insurance, they generalized everything, right? It's either medical or it's car insurance or business. Like, it does not, even when it's looking at business, it does not target the normal market of the Ugandan economy.
Okay.
They generalized it to best suit packages, probably for first-class countries. But when you look at Uganda's economy, most people are either market vendors or just hawkers, probably, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons as to why, today we're not going to sit here and blame the public, because actually these insurance companies, they are there, they are prominent. But for example, have you gotten a call from, let me say, Prudential, when you meet one of their sales agents anywhere in the field, what are some of the questions they ask you?
I've not actually encountered any of them as yet, the insurance people. It is something. Of course, I've always had my opinions about it, which I cannot talk about it. But you've encountered some of those people, right?
Yeah.
What are the most, personally, I haven't encountered them. And I've always tried to.
I understand, and that's okay. But like most times, let me say, if you're going to a mall to get something or anything from there, you always meet these people. They are everywhere. They even go door to door, right?
Okay.
And they're trying to register people to join the insurance of Prudential, right? And when they're making up follow-up phone calls, they don't necessarily ask you what you even need to know. They don't even let you know about what insurance is. They just let you know that these are the packages we have. They don't even know if those packages best suit you as a person, right?
Sure.
Now, most people in this space, they will want to grow the economy. Those are the conversations we're having. But the packages, first of all, they're expensive. They've not catered at all for the common person, right? Who earns about 10,000 per day. So what are you telling them to insure? I mean, insurance is good and all that, but at the end of the day, they're missing their target market. They've not understood the demography of how Uganda works and how much money people are earning in order to be able to be under this insurance, right? The lowest package from Prudential is 1.2.
Okay.
And that is only covering medical is allocated about 58,000 Ugandan shillings.
Okay.
So tell me, Andrew, am I going to get sick only once in a year, and will that be my bill?
Of course not.
Of course not,
It
right?
won't be, yeah.
It's actually going to end up costing me as a person. And how much am I earning every month to deposit money to you to insure me, right? They've mainly looked at it on a wider base and forgotten us, right? Because I'm saying some of the suggestions actually for insurance when it's targeting Uganda as an economy is to create policies for the youth.
Right? For the youth, yeah, okay.
Yeah, in that way, if they create the policies, more youth will be able to have access to money to start up businesses. Yeah. Because for starters, many young people cannot be able to sign out a business loan. They don't have collateral that is required, you know, and they can only be given a minimal amount, right? Which cannot be able to sustain you anywhere or even help you establish yourself. So if insurance is dedicated to creating employment opportunities, giving this, I don't know, managing risks as they claim, that's their mantra, right? They should be able to look at what is actually going to grow the economy. If they enrich more opportunities to the youth, that means that youth will become more job creators than seekers, right? Yeah. Otherwise, what do you think about some of the packages?
Well, you've actually spoken it right regarding the uptake of insurance. We still have really low intake, but despite all that, I can see the different insurance companies. Okay, away from the packages being expensive, but they have tried to educate the citizens on what really insurance is all about, what they need to know, why do they need insurance, because for the day-to-day person, they never really think of uncertainty as something that is a priority, you know, because the biggest chunk of Ugandans, what we earn for the day is what we spend. So literally, there is nothing to say that you're going to keep aside some money and say that you're going to save it. So that becomes, and why is it that way? It's, of course, lots of things. I've been seeing a report, I think it was in the New Vision or the Daily Monitor, and it was saying that despite the central bank rate being reduced, the lending rates are still crazily high, you know, for the day-to-day. So imagine somebody now, you bring in the insurance aspect, it really becomes a little bit very hectic to the people there. And your point is actually right. Most of the packages are generalized, but they're not broken down to suit the day-to-day person. Yeah. Now, according to the report here, the insurance penetration in Uganda has been gradually increasing. Now, between 2020 and 2023, the percentage of innovative benefits that is offered by insurance companies rose from 9% to 15%, with a 2024 target set at 20%. Now, yet most of these numbers must mask deeper challenges. Now, most Ugandans remain unaware of insurance products or view them as irrelevant to their daily lives. And according to the industry experts, this lack of interest stems from critical issues, that is inadequate awareness campaigns and failure to design products that resonate with the diverse demographics, just like Falda had mentioned, particularly the market vendors, small traders, and the informal workers. Now, Ruth Namoli, the chairperson of the Uganda Insurance Association, underscores the gap, and he says that the insurance needs a paradigm shift. It's not just about offering products, but creating solutions that fit the everyday struggles of the ordinary Ugandans. Similarly, Paul Mohammed, president of the Insurance Brokers Association Uganda, highlighted the systematic resistance and adoption, emphasizing the need for bold strategies to capture and tap market. Falda, how long do you think it will take for the people to believe in insurance? Ugandans.
I think it's going to take some time because the truth is most of Ugandans, we are illiterate, right?
True.
And just understanding this information is going to take us a little bit longer to get there, right?
Okay.
But, I think insurance companies are really doing a good job, like you said earlier, on promoting awareness and visibility for themselves and spreading the importance of being insured, right? But they've not really penetrated the omuntu wa wansi, omuntu wa bulijjo, to help them understand this, right? And until they are able to do that, we are still going to have that gap of lack of knowledge as well as availability of the product, right? Because you ask how long it will take for them to transition into accepting this. I think there's also that concept of the fixed mindset, right?
Okay.
We actually don't see the importance of being insured, right? Okay. It is hard to convince someone that at the end of the day, if you have put this money aside and probably you're running a mobile money by the roadside, you are liable to being stolen from, right? Let's give an example of the recent escapade in Tinder, where the gentleman was shot down because of mobile money, right? But in those cases like that, you already have backup of where you're going to go. But people don't know that.
Very true.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about that, and okay, don't you think insurance in itself, look, okay, putting aside this whole narrative of the packages being expensive or not resonating with a down person, don't you think the focus should be more on the benefits than the cost that it brings on? Because it may not be cheap in itself. Insurance cannot be cheap. If you take a look at the cost these insurance companies really go through, don't you think it will be hard for them to create cheap products? Because now I'm looking at the aspect of the day-to-day running of their activities. Yeah. Because it's a capital-intensive business.
Yeah, I understand. And there's a concept in marketing that's called the KYC, right? It's called Know Your Customer. And in most cases, if you're starting a business or you're running any business, you must be targeting who is going to be your end goal, right?
End goal, yeah.
At the end of the day, we are looking at Uganda, much as they are incurring a bigger cost. There's still a cost that is going to be put in by the people who are taking part in this initiative of insurance, right? If they dedicated themselves to serving Uganda's community and helping it grow, attain economic growth, they must be able to best suit packages for everyone. I mean, if there is a 1.2 million package, of course it has minimal expenditure for each of the allocated fields. I think they can probably come up with another one of 500 just for someone to have. I mean, at the end of the day, insurance is not like your bank account where you're banking everything that you're going to get. It is rather something that helps you keep aside something for yourself in times and prepare for times of uncertainties, right? So they must be able to have those packages because they are serving us, you know, this is who we are. It's not by choice. We just end up being like that. So they need to be able to understand their customer. And they have understood some of their customers. And that's mainly middle class and upper class. Yeah. And I won't forget to say that most of Ugandans are not yet there.
And don't you think the fact that, because take a look at that, the mere fact that the insurance companies operate, you know, the cost of operations are quite high. Yeah. And there is a few intake of insurance amongst the Ugandans. So don't you think it's safer for them to have the few pay expensively and they can meet the costs than reducing the packages, trying to attract the numbers that may not actually pay the cost of running the business?
I think you're right that they would retain their costs to entertain the upper class and the middle class, right? But when it comes to reasons as to why insurance companies run, I don't think they would have met some of their goals and objectives because one of them could be directed to economic growth. That's why these companies are supported by governments, right? You see Kenya is growing because of the initiatives put in place by some of the insurance companies.
Very true.
Right? But if they have decided to take that route in Uganda, then they will still have business, they'll run business. But maybe I need to understand a little bit more about what you mean by the costs of...
what I mean that it's better you have you have expensive products for the few people that you know can actually take these products than making cheap products to attract masses. Yet what those masses pay cannot actually run, cannot cover the costs that you encounter to produce these products for them.
I understand. And I'm not saying that they should completely eradicate the expensive packages. But remember, there are people who operate on different packages. Premium, etc., name it, right? So it is just widening the base in order to be able to look at other people. I'm not saying let them scrap off a number of their packages, but they need to just widen the gap and be able to take care of other people in the country, because we are looking at economic growth and development, and insurance is one of the aims that help you to get there, because if you're taking part in it, it's going to give you this saving nature, right?
Absolutely.
So it means you have a lot more to save than to spend eventually on petty things like the rush decisions you make every other day. So if you're insured, you just have backup. So what in my mind makes me think that someone who is poor doesn't need backup? They actually need the backup. It's not just the rich people who do. So that is why I'm saying I'm of the view that they should learn the scope and the demography of Uganda.
Because we are talking about, because now with insurance, we know that there is this mandatory fee that you have to pay at a particular month. The consistency. Because when I look at the people down, due to the various challenges they face on a regular basis, what is the guarantee that they're going to be consistent? And because of that fear, amongst the people, the down people, they're like, what if I default? So personally, I have a time I defaulted on that, and I know what it means. So in that mindset, don't you think it would call for the government, first of all, if the citizens that are going to really take on these packages, they need to have stable income flows in terms of, let me say, for example, majority of the businesses today are operating, are complaining of the tax burdens, and some of the companies have decided to close down, or some have decided to lay off staff. Some payments are delaying. So there is a lot of things that are happening. So it's going to be very hard for such a citizen, such a population to actually feel the burden. To feel the urge of getting insured, because of the various challenges. They're like that fear of not fulfilling your commitment of the monthly or quarterly according to the agreement that you made with the insurance company.
I do understand what you're trying to say, Andrew, but what if I told you also the rich people do not really pick up on their insurance every month?
Okay, we're not certain about that.
There is a possibility, because it's not that, that saying that goes that also the rich cry. I mean, when you look at actually these people's spending tendency, it's not like they keep up to the goals that they set every other time, because at the end of the day, they are human, right?
Very true.
And when you talk about the possibility of not saving this money, then we need to raise voices more on the importance of being insured. Okay. Because if it reduces things like dependence on people, this is something we talked about the other day, and it also helps you have some savings. It helps you have a backup plan. It helps you make investments in the long run. Right. Someone will be dedicated to saving, and understanding also the concept of why you need to save is something that is important. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone is spending. The rich and the poor, right? But what makes them different is that this one, the rich will cut down their expenses. I mean, I'm not saying that the poor won't. I don't feel comfortable using the term the poor, But let me say the underprivileged.
The underprivileged.
Yeah. Let me say they also want, they have something to save at the end of the day. It is just dedication. Comes down to a person, right? Without the classes and all, how much are you going to save? Because at the end of the day, you're going to find that in these packages, that are made for the low-income earners, there's still a number of people who are committed to putting in their money. And when you look, let's give an example of some businesses that for the rich that have already been scrapped off because of various reasons, probably tax evasion, things like that. And they were probably insured. But insurance did come through for them because of some various reasons, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, in response to some of these challenges that we've been mentioning further, the Insurance Regulatory Authority has an initiative to recognize innovation that is within the sector has injected the sense of urgency among the insurers. Now, the upcoming March 2025 recognition ceremony is not just about awarding the plaques, but it's about celebrating that is the meaningful contributions of the lives of the Ugandans. Now, some notable innovations already making waves include Your Partner in Danger. Now, this is a safety-focused insurance plan offering quick assistance during emergencies. Now, we also have the Tableware Insurance coverage tailored for catering businesses and restaurant owners, addressing a unique market segment. However, the industry needs to go beyond this initial success. Sunday, Pro Tazio, representing the Insurance Regulatory Authority Head of Department, that is Haj Kadunabilubega, emphasized this in a recent address. And they say that innovation target the first person, the individual, ensuring that they see tangible benefits in their daily lives. And insurance must actually transition from being a luxury to being a necessity. Valda, what do you have to say about these, some of the, the challenges we've been talking about? There are some of the, innovations, some innovations in insurance that are already making rounds. We have Your Partner in Danger.
Okay, that's interesting.
A safety-focused insurance plan offering quick assistance during emergencies.
Okay. Andrew, I would love to first know what you think about that Your Partner package.
I think it's perfect, but the only issue is how streamlined is it that in case something happens, what is the criteria for that partner to be a beneficiary? I think that's what will matter if this is to be great. If I'm to say that it's great, we need to see, because the challenge we have, just like in Uganda, we have good policies, but when it comes to implementation, the same applies to solutions when it comes to the day-to-day dangers. Now insurance, we have all these packages, but the execution, shall we really see the people that are intended to benefiting? To me, that's my whole issue here. But I think these are very amazing innovations. The Tableware Insurance, coverage tailored for catering business. Now even catering businesses and restaurant owners now have something that they can actually, beson to that. So I guess this is something really amazing. Then we have the need for targeted products. For insurance to truly resonate, companies must embrace the diversity of Uganda's population, and the products should cater to market vendors, street workers, rural farmers, youth entrepreneurs. We talk about weather indexed insurance. This is to mitigate the crop failures. Now this is for the side of the rural farmers. Then for the youth entrepreneurs, affordable packages supporting business continuity. And then we know that this approach not only burdens the customer base, but also aligns with Uganda's broader developmental goals by fostering financial inclusion and resilience, as we see that. Well, let's first of all get into a short break, and we're still on to this particular discussion. I'm still returning with Father Shirabo. We're going to be breaking down further, but definitely when we return, we shall be getting into the last remarks of the day, and we shall take a look at what transpired during the talk of the insurance innovations. It happened last week. We shall be getting there, but let's first get out of this break shortly.
Smart 24, driving business.
Okuba omusinguzi oyine kuba stede nka Tiger. Konka ko origura amashita na MTN Momo okusingura kworobi. Kozesa Momo app ningashi imata star emwe mukaga 5 star ishatu hash. Teka Momo chant code, teka Momo hendo gwesente, teka Momo pin oshashuri. Congratulations. Emotoka yawe shemerirwe kandi watunga omugisha gwo kusingura mobile money na MTN Momo.
75 days since the last day of last season. We are ready to do it all again.
Get all the football on DStv Compact for only 110,000 shillings per month.
Chichi baby ababbi bakutaba police tulina obeera mu nsonga zino ababbi bakutaba police.
This is Matoma, and well there, scored against the club with which he won the title more than a decade ago. And it's the 100th goal.
Upgrade to become BFF with the Premier League and enjoy football's best moments at only 90,000 shillings. Go TV Uganda. Love it.
Kati nno weefunire decoder oba osigale nga weeyunze ku GoTV weeyagale mu nnaku zino enkulu. Kati nno okuviira ddala ku mutwalo gumu kitundu zokka osobola okwefunira package gy'okunyumira awamu ne famire yo. GoTV Uganda, love it.
This is Jordan. When it comes to classwork, Jordan is magic. Jordan shines. Jordan makes his peers better. Jordan is a true leader. White Star Magic family. Be a leader. Be magic.
I will talk broadly on this peace and security architecture because I think space is applicable in peace and peace and stability of the continent, not only on the continent but even over the world. And I see two main ways in which space is being applied, either surveillance of the threats on the ground and surveillance of the threats in space. And these two ways have cutting across the 4 domains or the 4 pillars that we are looking at in the African space agenda. And that is Earth observation, there is satellite communication, there is navigation and positioning, and there is astronomy and space sciences. Now, when it comes to monitoring the threats on the ground, that's when you use the Earth observation aspect to map the ground and to map the terrains. And it's a very useful application in terms of deploying the troops and deploying the peace-building keeping missions. And not only that, to map the terrains and to know where exactly the enemy is. In satellite communication, I think there has been a lot of use, not only in Africa, but over the entire world, especially when it comes to communication links. Some threats come and some terrorists might destroy, the infrastructure for communication. Now, space comes as a backup, and those are satellite communication that provide the back-end solution. Now, in navigation and positioning, I should say that the military has its own, frequency of communication, and that dedicated frequency of communication ensures security in terms of mapping the hotspots and in terms of locating the areas that need responses from the military and from the police. And this is where most of the countries have found a lot of use in terms of navigation and positioning. Not only that, when it comes to the search and rescue missions, especially in the deep sea or in the air, we have applied many applications on navigation and positioning have been applied to locate where those vessels are, if there are threats, and to locate where the dangers are. So in any nation, and you notice that especially in the airports, you have these applications of the radar in the surveillance of the airspace. And I think for any nation to be stable and to be secure, you need to have your own, communication backhaul or navigation positioning backhaul to ensure that you have the accurate positioning. As you know, you have to be in charge, or you have to be in charge of your borders, and borders means including the airspace that is above you. And this is where the satellite navigation and positioning